Hello, Mario! In this video, I'm going to set up the second sheet with a number of viewports so that we can have different drawings at different places on the sheet. So, let's get cracking. First of all, we need to go to paper space because that's where all the viewports happen. And I'm just going to click on there and you can see there's a viewport. I'm going to select that viewport and delete it. So I'm going to put new viewports in. So there we are. We've just got a bit of paper with no viewports into model space. Alright. So what I want to do is to set up my viewports. I want to set them up in a layer that I call a non-printing layer. And I've already set that up. I'm just going to double click that. So that's my current layer. Just looking at my layer properties, it's a layer that I set up. I just went new layer, viewport frozen in all viewports, so that means it won't, if you don't freeze a layer in all the viewports, any existing viewports, that layer will show up in those viewports. So if you draw on that layer, say in sheet 1, in floor plan, anything that you draw will show up in that layer, especially if you draw over where the floor plan is. So new layer, viewport frozen in all viewports is a pretty good option, and then you can turn the layer on in a viewport if you want it. Depends on what you're doing. So I've got that as there. Just one thing, it's a non-printing layer, so just make sure that the printer is turned off in that layer. So what that means is that anything you draw in that layer will show on the screen, but it won't be printed. And just make sure you can set whatever color you want. If you wanted a different color, you can. Okay, so let's just close out our layer properties, and I'm going to now start drawing where I want it. So I want one at the top half, just in that little space there, and that's where the elevations are going to go. And then I just want another one here, down through the middle here. And there's many options for these viewports. You can have circular ones, all sorts of shaped ones. It's just a matter of setting up a shape for your viewport and then turning it into a viewport by either selecting an object or just creating a viewport. So we then go to layout and rectangular, because that's the viewport we want, and that's going to put one in there, and as you can see there's the model space appearing. Rectangular again, I'm just going to put one in there like that, and rectangular again, one in there like that, and they should all show up in the non-printing layer. Alright, so these layers in here, we're going to put a cross section in there and a detail in there. So we don't need to work on those so much, but this one here, let's get it back to where we were. So I'm just going to double click in there, and we had the elevations in there. So, and we had the scale set there, 1 to 50, like that there. We can see our little pan buttons back now, which is nice and handy. So we can just put that in the middle there. We can see there's something not quite right in there, and I'm just going to, I think that's okay there for position. So just remember to lock it up, and I think we'll go home and just have a look. Like, it looks to me like there's a layer not turned on, and I'm pretty sure it's the elevations layer there. And there we are, there's our little buildings, reasonably nicely positioned in there. I think we could just go in here, and the pan button's gone again, pan. Okay, so we couldn't possibly, oh, that's because we can't pan in there because it's locked. So we've got to unlock it, and then the pan button appears, then we can go pan, and we can just maybe just push it, perhaps looking at up and down, but I think that's pretty good there. Finish panning. Okay, and then we lock it up, of course, and we can't do anything, so our little icons and things go. Alright, so there we go. That's the viewports set up, and I'm going to come back and do some work on those a little bit later. So that just ends that video there. Nice little short one. It's pretty quick, and yep.